Hello everybody and welcome back to Suzerain with your host, Parallax. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't watched the last 3 videos, I would recommend that you do so. It seems as though war is looming with Runeberg. We need to rework a trade agreement with Angolia, uh, Val, Valgesinland. We thought would be good buddies, but apparently they hate these guys and these are going to be our good buddies, so we couldn't have a little trifecta. That would be way too easy. We don't care about these people, and these people down here are a not bad country, but they're heading in the wrong direction. We just got back from Narbel, where we talked to a lady. No. The second to last video, we went out to Narbel and we talked to the Minister of Education and Public Health. This out here is a darn poop show. It's not good. Poverty, low education, just no bueno. And then we went and had dinner here in Leshaven with the business people, like the Minister of Economics. It was an okay evening. People were just trying to get to know me, and I was trying to get to know them. Later, the gentleman who tried to get us to pick his company, the United whatever, for this project here, the one that was corrupt and they did a crap job, he offered us again. He was like, hey man, you're going to give us a tax break. You're going to give the rich people a tax break. That's what you're going to do. So twice this guy has come up, and basically what he's saying is, you're going to do what we want you to do, or we're going to make your life bad. So what we're going to have to do is hope. We're going to do the right thing. We're not going to give him a tax break, and we're going to just have to hope that the people of this country can see through his malarkey and can vote for me for a second term. And hopefully, I'm really banking on the Minister of Justice. Like, when things settle down, I'm really banking on her to be like, I want to wear a wire and I want to go and listen to this guy. I want him to say things like, hey, I'm going to give you a bribe for this, and then I just want that to stick. I want to start utilizing the law to nail these people. But that's not what we're doing right now. Everything else has been caught up on. Oop, not the news. Let's read the news. That's great news. We want the workers to have more rights. The more power we can siphon away from the wealthy in this country, the better. If you don't know, like I think part 3 or part 4, I went into a little soapbox about how I feel that wealthy people they're more dangerous than people with guns, and we stigmatize guns in this country so very much. But people with millions and billions of dollars to spend, they're like, oh yeah, those are cool people. It's like, no, they are just as dangerous, more so, than somebody who has a gun. Like, they can do more damage with their money than anyone could with a rifle. So I don't know why that's not regulated, but whatever. All right. This sucks because they're kind of taking it out of context. They're kind of making it seem like this guy is, pushing us around, and we're not, like, we're a pushover. But these are reforms that we campaigned on. This is nothing new. I think they're just trying to, I don't know, sensationalism, right? Oh, yeah. So this coal mine collapsed. The first time we read this article, or we were appraised of the situation, there were 87 dead. It looks like there's 112 dead now. Basically, they haven't happened due to the neglect. Yeah, so the company who runs that site, they put profits before protection, and people pay with their lives. So that's why we're going to be really, really trying to push workers' rights and try to take money away from the rich. Because the rich, all they ever want to do is get richer. And guess what? No matter how rich they get, it's never going to be enough, right? If you saw someone in your family who is addicted to something, and no matter what they did, they always just wanted more, you would pity them and you would try to get them help. Rich people are the same way. Like, I pity them and they need to get help. Like, all the money in the world isn't going to solve their problems. It's not going to make them happy. It's not going to heal them, right? There was a great quote. There was a lady who said, the brain is meant to keep us alive. It's not to make us happy, right? The brain is meant to keep us functioning and moving forward, but that's not where happiness comes from. But some people get it into their head that the brain controls happiness. And that's why you just can't satisfy it, because that's not where happiness comes from. All right, let's move on. Preparations for the government budget were finished. Most of the cabinet gathered in the White Room for an important occasion. Oh, here it is. Everybody's going to be trying to fight for our $1 due that we have here. Let's see what we can do. Nearly half a year had passed since my inauguration. The cabinet looked over, worked. I'd like to use this opportunity for a statement, and now the moment we've all been waiting for. It's finally time to discuss the government budget. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you. Let's start off with that. Hello, Mr. President. This woman is so... hello, Mr. President would be better than just whatever. We're getting semantics. Getting bogged down in semantics. Sadly, Peter, Gus, and David. Why won't Gus be here? Minister of Agriculture and Minister for... Okay, that kind of makes sense why they're not going to be here. They're working on the upcoming trade agreement with those two. Yep. May the Lord be with them. And who is this? Gave the eye roll? Oh, the education. I guess, yeah. So she is a lesbian and also an atheist. Wonderful. Before we begin, is nobody going to mention the ban on the red youth and swords? However much their political aims might differ from our administration, surely you must agree that freedom of expression must be protected at all costs. Miss Morgan, is right. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Called her by her first name and then corrected herself. Interesting. Nina flashed her an apprehensive smile. No H. Appreciative smile. I myself align far closer to the Red Youth's politics and the Young Swords, but I believe that both. She broke off as she noticed that Simon and Lucifer were looking at her and Nina in stony silence. Ladies, let's have the extraneous chit-chat for the afternoon tea. Yeah, I don't know why they... A pleading look who merely pushed her lips disapprovingly. Who is it, her? So the girls, all the girls were trying to talk about this and the men were trying to stay on topic. The ban is final. Don't question it any further. If you have a problem with the ban, call a separate meeting with me. Started loudly shuffling some documents around. All eyes turned to the Ministry of Economics. Let us begin, Mr. Hoyle. Thanks for having separate. I'm sure we will achieve lots of great things today. Thank you for the compliment. Today is a big day. We must prioritize our spending wisely in order to achieve the goals we have set for the government while maintaining enough political support. If I may add, promises were made during the election. There are 3 options regarding the budget of our 4th main branch of the government. It's either we increase, maintain, or decrease the funding. Increasing will result in an improvement of the branch, which will unlock new policy options. Maintaining will keep the funding, resulting in no visible change. Decreasing causes a loss of efficiency in that branch. Can we rely on the private sector to support us? Moving away from big government is the right choice. The problem isn't the amount of money, it's how effective we spend it. I'm sure we can do that to a certain extent in some branches like education and health. Our universal healthcare system must be protected and not be tainted by private greed or interests. We need to be considerate when making such grand choices that have ripple effects. So basically he just said that health and education could be privatized, and then both the 2 people who head up those departments are like, no, don't privatize them. We have to be careful as to what we fund, so we have the resources remaining for another investment project. Yeah. People voted of hers because we kept those promises. Yep. As much as we realistically can, if we fail at improving our economy, the promises won't mean much in the big picture. Before we begin our discussion, there is one more thing that I want to voice my opinion on. As we manage the government budget, we are obviously able to go into debt to invest in different branches. Although debt is a possibility under these circumstances, it would be It would dent our financial system, worsening the economic crisis if we push it too far. A point from me as well to everyone before the discussion. Given the current state of the country, the economic situation is a political priority right now, more so than ever. This budget will also be applicable to our entire term. It is very critical that we plan correctly. So let's begin. Which branch should we discuss first? Ooh, oh man. Yeah, I told you the next video. I told you in the previous one to this. I told you the next video was going to be, oh, it's going to be a big one. Okay. So let's look at the deal here. Let's look at the economy. The economy, the law, military. Well, that's weird that the education and health aren't up here. Okay, weak transportation links are slowing down logistics and the internal mobility of the country. Unemployment crisis. Tax evasion. Serious tax evasion practices are exercised by important businesses in other parts of the populace. Decreased trade volume. Economy plummeting. Due to a lack of investment, the region's economy is going down at a rapid rate, causing an increase in crime, homelessness, and unemployment. Yep. So we have 3 places that are suffering from lack of investment. They're promoting a market economy system and advising businesses to shift toward this goal. The government has passed a relief act to tackle the economic difficulties the country is going through. So we've done nothing. In the 6 months we've been here, we've done absolutely jack, except tell the private enterprise to help us and to get out there and take over some areas or some aspects of the government's job. And we gave people a welfare check. That's it. Freedom in curriculum. Voluntary vaccination. Jeez. Overburdened welfare system. Low quality rural health. Inaccessible rural education. Inconsistent curriculum. Corruption, illegal immigrants, organized crime, nationwide revolt. So really, we have outdated military equipment. Decades-old equipment in the armed forces are negatively affecting the combat capabilities. So if we did up their budget, maybe we could fix that. But that would come at the cost of something else. So, if we privatized health care, people who are sick and in need, now we're going to get even worse off because they have to pay tons of money. But if we privatize education, then more schools will open up in areas where maybe a school isn't, and people could choose to send their children there for money. And if the people who had good paying jobs and who were employed, they could take advantage of that, and then the other kids would just go to a state-run school, right? And the state-run school would concentrate on fewer children because some of the children would be siphoned off to the privatized area. So we could reduce funding in education and increase the military budget for now, right? And then maybe next year we can shift that back, right? We can lower the military's budget and we can increase the education budget. And the reason why we're going to do that is just because we have threat of Rumberg. And once that threat is, like, once we can get this nationwide revolts, like once we get that under control, I think we can shift it. All right, so I think we have an idea about what we're going to do. Let's talk about education. Our education system is lacking not only in funding, but also in modern curriculum principles. Our outdated curriculum is wasting our youth. That is the reason why I advocate 2 things: an increase of the budget to improve access to education in rural areas, and a new education reform. To be honest, Orland is lacking compared to, when it comes to education levels, backbone of any country is its people, and we need to protect the future. We need to ensure the new generation is well educated as their counterparts in more modern countries. Nonsense. Sorland is still here because of the very system that you insult. How can you insult a system that teaches our sons and daughters the principle of national identity and pride? We won't be compared to other countries. Sorland is Sorland. I agree. Sorland is Sorland. Let's also remind you that we promised that we were going to focus on education during our campaign. Is right. We will pave our own path. We need to get this far by imitating. I agree with Kara. It is high time we invest in education and enact reforms. We can't let the people down. All right, let's talk about healthcare. We're not going to do anything just yet, it seems. Our healthcare system is vast and provides free services to most of our citizens. However, the quality of our health service is far worse in low-income and rural areas. Therefore, I think we should receive more funding to address this disparity. I agree. I've recently begun an investigation into healthcare in Narbel, and the numbers are not good, said the girl who is the Minister of Education. If we don't increase spending on health services, we at least need to maintain it. Otherwise, we are putting ourselves at risk. We should have to start a new analysis on what would happen if a pandemic struck Sorland. According to the results, if our healthcare facilities remain in their current state, the death toll would be unimaginable. I'm not even talking about the damage to the economy. This is a matter of life and death, Mr. President. It should be treated as such. It is indeed worrying. We should fix whatever we can, but we should try to fix whatever we can as the government. It's only if a pandemic happens. We need to improve our health care. What else are we here for if we can't keep our people alive? Let's discuss law enforcement. I would like to have an increase in the funding of law enforcement to increase the size of the police force and raise salaries. We have so many internal threats to tackle, and I'm already stretching my units far too thin with the limited resources allocated to me. Law enforcement is clearly a high priority. However, I feel Nina's color is wrong. She's supposed to be red. No, she's right. No, this girl's supposed to be... She's red. Nina's right. However, I feel tackling internal corruption is far higher importance than increasing our police presence. Directing the funds to my department would help solve the problem at its root. If corruption is still rampant, all the police in the world won't help us. We need a specialized anti-corruption police unit, which we could create if the funds were directed to me. I agree with Miss Morgan. We should not reward a structure that is responsible for ever increasing number of human rights violations. Additionally, corruption is the reason our government inefficiencies. It needs to be tackled. The police are there to serve and protect the people of Sorland. Miss Wanda, that's exactly what we are doing. More funding will allow us to take care of our police forces is a quite simple choice given the current state of the country. Yep, I agree with Nina. Always have. Alright, let's see about the military. What is there to hear about? I already voiced my opinion. Rumberg is coming whether we like it or not. It is not this year, next year. If not next year, then the year after that. Mr. President, you and I have a shared responsibility to protect the nation from its enemies, and I intend to do that with my last breath. I will say this with certainty. If Rumberg doesn't make a move against Sorland in 2 or 3 years, my name is not. Ugh. There could be no argument against increasing the budget for our army when there is an enemy at our doorstep waiting for us to make one wrong move. Anyone who thinks otherwise is a fool. Right, pardon my theatrics, sir. If this is a serious matter, the future of our country is up to you, Mr. President. Well, here is the argument. The armed force does nothing but eat away financial resources destined for people while stoking fears for an upcoming war. The issue with Rumberg can be solved diplomatically. What kind of message are we sending to them and the whole world if we suddenly start ramping up our military budget? I didn't think about that. What we are ready to defend our nation. Exactly. Ah, man, I don't know. I really hope they give me the... Yes! Okay, here we go. Healthcare. So we can increase healthcare and maintain it. or decrease healthcare. Let's just say we have a budget of 1, right? Let's say we increase it. Now we're at 0. Now education. We maintain education. Law enforcement. We increase or we maintain law enforcement. Military, we maintain. That says done. Wow. Wow. Okay. The people in the cities are okay. It's the people out in the country that are getting screwed over with health. Same thing with education. Law enforcement makes sense. But see, I want to upgrade. I want to do this to the law enforcement, but I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to Nina. So that's something that I want to see done. That's something that I want to see done. And then what is going to help them in the short term? Like, what is going to help in the short term? We're going to go to -1. And law enforcement's going to get the increase. And then the military's not going to do anything. I said that I wasn't going to do anything with the military, but that's before Rungberg started being jerks. Man, and really, it's been 1 cache of weapons. 1 border patrol skirmish. 1 border patrol skirmish. And 1 cache of weapons. That's all we have from Rungberg. And them closing the delegate. Or the consulate. I think when we said to the world, remember when they closed the consulate, we got to make a statement, and we said, hey, Rungberg is being jerks. A lot of people in the world were backing us, and they were saying, yeah, that's right. Yeah, those guys are not being good. So maybe, man, I want to take away from the military. I want to do, because that was a campaign promise. Like I said, I was going to take away from the military, and I was going to reinvest it. I can increase health. Look at this. I can increase health, education, and law enforcement. And you go into -1 on our budget if we just decrease the military. Or I could just maintain on the law enforcement, and I can increase education and health. You know what? Let's go into the -1. Let's do this. Man, I know you're yelling at me. You're yelling at me. I know. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. How stupid would it be? How stupid would it be to not at least maintain our military? That's rough. -2 in our budget. Can we do that? I mean, look at it this way. If this budget is for next year, so with this highway system coming online and maybe a trade deal being worked out in the South, maybe we can recoup this -2. We're going to increase healthcare, we're going to increase education, we're going to increase law enforcement, we're going to keep the military as it is. Damn. I really, really hope we get an alliance. I really hope that we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna have to, why we, okay, so here's my thought. What if we decrease it and we don't go into such a big deficit? And if Rungberg comes up to us and they say, hey, we'll leave you alone if you give us land. Like the last thing that they did with those other people is they annexed Dome, and Dome was just 1 city. So if they annex a city on the border, none of those cities are really worth it. But we'll get this country stabilized. Man, -2 is a lot. But I want to weed out the corruption. I want to get the education system squared away and the health care system. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. That's it. We have a deficit on our hands. We will need to resort to debt to finance future investment. This situation can have had adverse effects if we don't strike a balance. Agreed. Well then, let's start with law enforcement. Thank you for the decision, Mr. President. I knew you would see reason on this, considering the internal security threats are all-time high. I still disagree with Ms. Gaff on how the money ought to be spent, but the increased funding certainly is a step in the right direction. Any statement on the matter, sir? Law enforcement is a key branch that needs a greater budget due to the increased threats and the need for security. I trust you to push the Ministry of Interior and Justice forward. No, that should be all. Very well. Let's hear the Minister of Education. The increase of funding is very welcome. We can finally go after some comprehensive improvements by building new schools and improving the education system. Surely a well-funded and larger Ministry of Education would benefit everyone. Our future depends on our children. Education is the first step in the right direction. Sure, let's move on. The military is next. It's a shame that the military won't be getting an increase. I'll have to make sacrifices to maintain our defenses. Yep. I'm not going to say anything. It is what it is. Thank you, sir. The health budget increase will help me focus on improvements. Our people are now safer than ever. I'm also planning to tackle issues like the lack of rural hospitals and the recently worrying numbers of maternal deaths. Welfare must remain a priority for our team. There's no other way around it. All right, let's wrap it up. That covers all branches. Each minister will approach you with their respective policy requests and expectations over the next year. Thank you for your time and participation in this significant moment. The meeting is concluded. I thank you, everyone, and appreciate your time and effort. Regardless of what happened, I wouldn't be here without you. Don't forget that we are a team. For those who didn't like the decision, don't take it personally. Just say that. Time and effort. Well, -2 in a budget, so I guess I'm a big budget man. Oh, look at that. We have a continue button we can press. What's this guy? Oh man. Introduce. Inferior. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's hit the big... Oh, hold on here. What's this? Lucian reported that so far they have been able to get in total 87 signatures behind the proposal. Efforts are underway to increase the support and to reach out to necessary members. 87? I think we need 150, so 87 is not many. Who would they take? Oh, that's like a big town. Why would they take Narbel? It's a disaster. Okay, we get to hit the next button. Chapter 1 is done. We are on to Chapter 2, A New Sorland. We're going to get invaded. That's fine. Ooh, my highway didn't see improvement. Look at that. That sucks. Why did my highway go up? Okay. Reports that the current education institutions in rural regions have been largely neglected. As part of her analysis, the literacy rate 80, while rural regions is only 64. Whew. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Oh, yeah. So there was that one priest who was arrested maybe 2 videos ago, and he was part of this BFF front. Now there were a dozen. Man, priests, don't do that. Oh. Investment to build an international airport in the city for a touristic region. He claims that it would increase the overall prosperity of Sorland. I would be happy to do that, and I can't wait to go even more in debt to try to make that happen. That's going to be fan-freaking-tastic. Can't wait. Military equipment outdated. Military equipment is outdated and needs replacement as soon as possible. The continuation of worrying reports show that in the event of an attack, our border would be broken through easily, leaving the primary regions of Sorland exposed. Dig trenches. Dig trenches, and the dirt you take to make the trench, build it into a wall. Gigantic trench, gigantic wall. I cannot tell you how effective that is. Trenches, walls. Trenches and walls. Central Bank releases strong budget deficit warning. Oh. Central Bank of Shoreland issued a damning warning regarding the extensive government budget deficit and has occurred in the first year of administration. The irresponsible economic management were highlighted. Yes. Okay. Shit. Maybe negative. He said it would be bad if we abused it too much. -2, I guess, is abusing it too much. I really do. That's why I was really kind of hoping the highway would come online, and that the highway would generate $1 redo, and at least we'd be at -1 instead of -2. What's we got here? Angola offshore drilling. Yeah, so this island, I don't know if they took it or if they've always had it, but now they're doing offshore drilling, which apparently is pissing these people off. The tension increased. The situation turned into a standoff with warships. It took several hours for the gridlock to be resolved, and the situation was de-escalated for now. Oof. This whole area. We need to get this trade deal with these guys worked out too, because that's going to get our budget rolling too. We need it. Okay. Sign or veto the Workers' Rights Act that was approved by the Grand National Assembly. Oh. Here. We're probably going to push this. -1 government budget. No. No. Why are we going to lose? Why? If any employer shall not abide by these rules, they will be heavily fined by the government, and if not corrected, will face legal action. How is that hurting us if we are going to fine people who we're still pushing the button, and we're going to screw this country up? Section 1 establishes a minimum wage of 2.5 cents per hour. Section 2 sets a weekly maximum of 60 hours of labor. Section 3 establishes a double overtime pay after 40 a week. Why? Oh, I guess because we employ all these freaking people. Section 4 determines that workers are to be protected against occupational hazards and be provided humane working conditions. That immigrants or undocumented workers have the same rights as citizens of being employed. Okay. Yay! -3. I'm going to get shot. I am going to get shot any day now. It's going to be one of these people from the central bank are just going to look at me and go, yeah, no. You had your chance. Propose regional investment to strengthen the weaker parts of the economy. Guess it'd be, I would go into debt even more. I prepared an extensive regional investment package to revitalize one of the top 3 economically fragile regions by boosting the municipality budget, providing large sums of businesses grants, and giving cheap loans to companies with liquidity problems. The proposal can be implemented in one of the following regions. So this one, which is hit with high unemployment. West Virginia. Where's Berg? Okay, here, down here. So there, or who was the last one? England. Or that one. I really feel like we wanna do this, right? And the reason why I say this one, and yes, going to -4 is gonna suck, but the reason why I want to do this one is because these are a bunch of rich people, and if they see that there's investment opportunities here and that businesses are growing here, maybe it'll entice them to come over. Maybe. That, and this was the one area that we actually got a good report on, right? Like we actually got a good report that this harvest down here was actually making us money. So let's do it. This will put us at -4. I wonder what's bad. Is -1 bad? Jesus. Can I wait and see other? Uh, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just go farther down the rabbit hole. Oh, we got a tick back. We got a tick back. We were at -3. Now we're at -4. We had a tick. We got a tick back. Yes, we did. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Okay, stimulus checks distributed. Consistent economy. Okay. Increased employee cost. Stagnant production. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, we got to tick back. We move the economy up. All right, Office of the President, Swirling Moon Palace, Resident of the President. Okay, we're going to talk with Monica, an evening walk. All right, it was early evening, still light out, with just a faint nip in the air. Frank was at a friend's with our youngest at an art lesson. Monica and I decided to go out for a walk before dinner. We need to get our personal wealth, man. Just dump our personal wealth into there. Our favorite place for a stroll was the nearby Capitol Park, the largest green space in all of Ulthord. Before the children were born, we had spent many a evening engaged in deep conversation along the Riverside Promenade. Another favored path would be through the woods behind the presidential housing complex, a private pond where the children could swim in the summer. I was told that Sol himself had built it, the benefits of being a president. Monica met me at the door, and we put our coats on and our hat. I was going to suggest we walk toward Sol Square, but the guards told me it had been closed for yet another protest. I wonder who they are protesting this time. What does it matter? There are two sides of the same coin. The Ant and I knew university would never have said that. Well, damn. Funny how becoming president changes one's perspective. In any case, where shall we go? I'm not sure Capitol Park is a wise idea in this climate either. Nonsense. We have our guards. There's nothing to be afraid of. Let's go to the Capitol Park. You're right. It's not worth the security risk. Let's stay inside the gates. Okay. Do you want to get shot, or do we want to live for another day? If we go out there, it might be a time to talk. Out there, it might be a time to say, you know what, cool it. We got bigger problems to worry about. Like, this is not the time. Of course, somebody's already pissed at us. They're just going to shoot us anyway. Let's just go for stability, okay? Let's just go for stability. Oh, right, you're right. It's not worth the security risk. I agree. Let's go then before the children get home. I informed the guards about our route, and we left the house. The guards followed at a discreet distance as we headed toward the walking trail. As we entered the woods, Monica broke the silence. So how was your day? How was yours? Avoiding my question, are we? Very well. Oh, mine was fine. I caught up on some small reading while the children were at school. Just outside the gate, I glimpsed Inigo Montoya, the former Minister of Justice, walking toward the Capitol Park. I remember that Nina used to be his vice minister. He didn't seem to notice us as he walked by. Inigo Montoya had once fought hard and strong against Sol's judiciary reforms, but after years of the government blocking his every move, he gave up and his ideas became a part of the administration. What did our ideals really mean if they could be changed so easily? What about the people we idolized? Evelyn also came around for tea. She says hi. She was feeling rather low, though apparently she and Peter had a bit of a disagreement. Peter's our vice president, and that's his wife. Peter's in the doghouse again. How'd it happen? Apparently Peter had too much whiskey as usual and didn't behave when Evelyn's father was over for dinner yesterday. You know Peter, what do you think of this? Just a rough patch, love. They'll be fine. That's Peter, perpetually pickled. I'll have a talk with him. Good. Evelyn seems close to tears. Aren't you glad you and I don't have these kind of quarrels? You know, Evelyn hasn't been the same since what happened to her at Holster's Post last year. What happened? Oh, yeah. You remember how she got fired for supporting Alfonso? Peter tried everything to get her job back, but it didn't work. A sad day for journalism and the free speech. I completely agree. A sad day indeed. But enough about the Vecturns. I also spoke with Janice on the phone. Oh, Janice, right. You remember my friend from university? We were in the Shoreland lecture class together. A few years younger than me, red hair, scar on her forehead. We had dinner with her and her husband once or twice. Right, that Janice. Anyway, she's been working as an executive assistant at the film studio. Oh, that's nice. And recently became pregnant. Yay! And asked her boss for a paid maternity leave, and guess what? She was fired for it. After asking for maternity leave, that's terrible. I know, I was beside myself when she told me, and that's not all. They immediately replaced her with a younger, less experienced man, the son of an executive, no less. That is utterly ridiculous. I'm happy you agree with me. As it happens, another friend works for a television station that's hiring secretaries, so I connected the two of them. That doesn't solve the deeper problem, though. Exactly, I knew you'd be on the same page. Look, Monica, I know what you want to hear, darling. I'm just telling you what you want to hear. All right, I'm giving you the what do they call it? She's preaching to the choir. You know what it is? I don't know why. Women in this country are still seen as wives and mothers first, human beings second. They're harassed at work, underpaid, blocked from positions of power, and those are the lucky ones. The fact that there are still places in this country where little girls like Diana are denied the right to an education. Go on. These little girls are people like Janice need someone to speak on their behalf, a role model, a successful woman, maybe the first lady. Maybe you could do that. We had reached the pond at the end of the trail, a park bench to overlook the water. Monica gestured to it, and we sat down. Which brings me to my point. I know that the mayor of wherever will be delivering a speech at the annual opening of the festival. I wish to take his place and deliver that speech instead. Most influential politicians. He had started his career before rising to power. Currently mayor had personally invited him to make the speech. Replacing him with Monica would likely anger him, and not enough to cause a major incident, but enough that he might not support me in the assembly. I want to base the speech on women's rights in Shoreland, on the oppression and discrimination we face every day on the basis of our sex alone. I want our voice heard, and this festival is the time to do it. I just need your blessing as my husband and the president. We can't support her. What we can do is that she can ask that guy, and if that guy says absolutely, then sure, I'll back it. But we can't force somebody. I mean, the current mayor asked him to come, so it wasn't like I don't know, like we can't just, I don't know, we can't. You have my full support always. Sure, it's just a speech. What's the worst that can happen? Does it have to be the festival? Why can't you make the speech another time? It has to be now. Thousands will go to the festival and millions watch the speeches at home. Shoreland's women can't wait any longer. Come on. In the cold light of day, she would not want this. That's all there is to it. Oh shit, I almost hit the almost hit the second one. I don't understand. Isn't it something you care about as well? I don't want you to step into politics. Sorry, but we can't make her angry. It's not the right time. Shoreland is facing too much political strife. We have to deal with women's rights later. That is not. I don't want her to step into politics. Even though I said 2 seconds ago that she should head that up, now I'm saying that she needs to be quiet. No. Look, here's the deal, man. They voted for me to be the president. They did not vote for me just so my wife could get up there and like browbeat people with what she thinks they want to hear. It's just not appropriate. Yeah. In the doghouse now. Government invest in Burgundia. New law on workers' rights. This would make everyone happy. Explosion in the air kills 3, wounds 22 more. Now give me the money. Give me the money. Oh no. This is not a. This is a militant attack. I thought it was gonna be a national debt. Sorlin is in a tough spot. Rain signs workers' bills law into law. Levish the League of Women march. Good. That's right. Come on, Monica. Workers' rights bill signed. Jeez, is that us? I don't even want to read anything about what's happening in that other country. We're going to do that trade deal. Oh, we lost a freaking pip. Gosh darn it. We just gained a pip in the economy, and now it's gone. Where's this at? Military buildup somewhere? Oh no. Jeez. Red youth member charged with terrorism and treason. The Red Youths were outlawed, so you really should be just random boy was charged with whatever. They bomb a police station. Well, the police are going to get some more funding. Young Swords member arrested and faces terrorism. How funny. Young Swords, and then over here it was the whomevers. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this video, folks. Some crazy things have happened. We're at -4 in our budget, and apparently all the stuff that we've done in our economy has not done anything. Oh. Peaceful protest. Did the nationwide unrest go away? It did. The nationwide red like nationwide like violent protests have now gone away, and now they're just peaceful protests. Oh, yay. That's what we banning the banning those organizations sent the right message. It sent the right message that was not freedom of speech, that was a paramilitary group that was killing people, and they were using their ideology to justify being barbarians. Oh, so good. Improved working conditions, good urbanization institutes. Oh. Come on, we just need to get some of this stuff. We just need to get some of this stuff back into the green and some of that shit to go away. Okay. Can't believe we lost that pip. Okay. Goodbye, folks. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.